Greetings to our respected subscribers and guests of the channel. Today, we will talk about IVS, Temporary Detention Facility, and SIZO, Pretrial Detention Center. Operatives often scare detainees by saying they will be placed in a special cell where they will be pressed, meaning abused, humiliated, beaten by aggressive inmates. Do not believe this. There are no such press cells in EVS. People held in EVS are detainees under suspicion. They do not know whether they will be arrested or released. Everyone there has their own problems and worries. Only in poorly written books and movies does a cop whisper into a cell that the newcomer was arrested for rape and the cellmates immediately start beating and raping him. That is a lie. People stay in EVS for up to 48 hours. During this time, they do not have time to form a collective, which means they cannot apply collective pressure. First-timers, pervochody, people detained for the first time, are afraid of everything themselves. And seasoned inmates, zasizhenie, those who have already served time, will not start trouble, because in SIZO they might end up in a proper cell and be held accountable for lawlessness. Let's say something unpleasant happened and you were arrested for a couple of months. This is where you must pull yourself together. From this moment on, your behavior determines who you will become in prison and later in the camp. When communicating with inmates, forget formal, polite speech. Do not say you formally, and never shout phrases like, "Don't address me like that." He may answer, "I haven't addressed you yet," implying a homosexual act. With staff, on the contrary, behave as politely as possible, even if you hear rudeness. Cops are people too. They do not have an innate hatred toward you. To harass someone during interrogation, they need to psychologically tune themselves. That task becomes much easier if you start being rude. Social status also matters to law enforcement. A cultured person, even if simply dressed, looks more respectable than a flashy, designer-clothed brute with thug manners. Even if you are extremely tough and well-off, do not treat a poorly dressed homeless cellmate with contempt. Right now, he may be shaking from a hangover and look like a beaten animal, but it may turn out that filth is his native element. In SIZO, he will be met by old friends from previous sentences. He will recover from drinking, wash, shave, change into clothes that are gifted, taken, or won, and become a serious authority. If you later end up in a cell with him, you will suffer greatly if you insulted him earlier. So, you are a detainee. The main thing is not to panic. Hide your nervousness. Do not freeze or hesitate. Remember your article of the criminal code. Even if you plead not guilty, it is still your article. When they transfer you from IVS to SIZO and the escort asks, state it clearly. Just as clearly as your last name, first name, patronymic, and year of birth. Do not think this is nonsense advice. Half of inmates get lost during transfers, talk nonsense, hesitate, stutter. People under travel restrictions or taken into custody directly in the courtroom often cannot correctly name their sentence, its start and end dates, or their detention regime. This irritates the escort. That alone is not too dangerous, but other detainees are watching you. They draw conclusions about who you are. If they decide you are morally weak, they may start pressuring you and treating you badly. When leaving IVS, you will receive all confiscated belongings according to an inventory. If something is missing, do not sign "no complaints." They may rush you or be rude. Do not give in. Inform the escort commander. Upon arrival at SIZO, immediately write a complaint to the prosecutor. You do not need to prove your innocence to prison staff. They do not care. During a strip search, when ordered to undress, do not cause a scene. You will be restrained and searched by force. Besides, it is standard procedure. During the medical examination, it is especially foolish to protest when tests are taken, including a rectal swab. If you were beaten during arrest or in IVS, be sure to ask doctors to document the injuries. They do not like the police and will never refuse. After that, write a complaint to the prosecutor. You will probably not prove anything, but you will cause trouble for the cops, and you will at least have a small trump card in court. During subsequent transfers for investigative actions, if the IVS is in a regional center and the crime was committed in a district, you are unlikely to be touched again. After that, you will be placed in quarantine. This is not yet a regular cell, but a temporary holding area. However, prison customs already apply there. Mattresses and bedding are not issued. If possible, while still in SIZO, ask relatives during a phone call via investigator or lawyer to bring you warm clothes, even in summer. A padded jacket, blanket, bedding, slippers, socks, underwear, a tracksuit, toilet paper, towel, soap, toothbrush and toothpaste, shaving supplies, disposable razors only, a spoon, plate, and mug, not glass, nail clippers, a notebook, a pen, cigarettes, tea, candy, lard, garlic, envelopes for letters. Let them bring everything in a convenient travel bag. Do not bring a lot of luxury clothes and food at once. You do not yet know who you will be or where you will end up. Luxury can provoke envy, attempts to steal or discard your belongings, so do not rush. Once you settle into captivity, everything necessary will be sent to you later. When entering quarantine, if other detainees are present, greet them, not by shaking hands with everyone and not with a confused hello, but calmly and confidently, hey. Do not add brothers or guys. The cell may contain criminal authorities, outcasts, or homosexuals. Sometimes bunks are already occupied. In prison, the number of inmates does not always match the number of beds. Do not stand confused in the doorway. Walk in, sit at the table, or on the edge of a bunk. Do not put your bag on the table or bed. Place it by your feet. Drop something on the floor? Act according to the situation. If it is a pack of cigarettes falling onto a clean spot, you can joke that it fell on a newspaper and pick it up. But if you pick up a cigarette near the toilet and put it in your mouth, you can end up in the rooster section, the lowest caste. If possible, choose a bunk farther from the toilet. After a transfer, you will often really need to relieve yourself. Do not rush to the toilet immediately. Watch how others do it. Every cell has its own customs. In some cells, before using the toilet, one must ask whether anyone is eating. In others, if people are eating, only urination is allowed. In others, even defecation is allowed. In others, doing so will get your head smashed. Do not be surprised when instead of asking your name, they ask, "What are you in for?" or "Which article?" Inmates need to know who they are dealing with. What if you are a pedophile? State the article number, but do not start telling a detailed story. No one has the right to interrogate you. If they start, the person is either an informant or a fool. Stop such questioning with phrases like, "I refuse to answer," or "Why are you interested?" If you stayed silent in IVS but start talking in SIZO, an agent will go to the operative and write, "Source reports such and such." Remember, it is possible that a planted inmate was assigned specifically to work with you. This was the channel all about prison. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Good luck to you.